You've probably seen several videos at this point about Android 16 desktop mode. So if you have, you know that it does look like this, but we'll get to that later. This is my short review about Google's new, well, not quite new desktop mode. And to get started, it's quite easy. I've already set up the needed devices, keyboard and mouse, and all I need after that is just one USB-C connection to a nice hub. I already have the displays already, and once we do that, we're presented with this canvas. It's quite blank. There are a few noticeable changes since the last time I've done an update. As you can see, notifications are active. Look around, we see the icons again are at the bottom, and as I'm showing here, that it does have these different virtual desktops. Means you can have apps open each of these environments and they are considered separate. Also, what you open and cruise through on your mobile phone is not duplicated here. Doesn't mean you can find those pages, but if you was using the app on your phone, it is not going to be shown here because this is treating it as a separate system. And here we have the app drawer. This is again where you will find all your applications that you have installed. And here we have these notifications, but this was not there in the last review I've done. And just like you see on the phone, and you will see here, all the options that you have displayed will be there. That's not my favorite use of the space as it looks pretty stretched out, but it's good that they're there. And again, back to this little drawer. I don't like how it takes up a half of the screen, almost a third. So I'm going to try this. Hyper Droid. Now, this is not sponsored, but this is more or less what I like to use when I'm in this kind of environment. As you can see, this is just a launcher, but it's, as far as desktop looks go, this is the best launcher I've seen, and it heavily samples from Windows 11. Now, this is not made by Microsoft. They are just using the image. So I don't know exactly how they get away with it, but this is more or less why I hoped will be duplicated in this new desktop environment. As I've shown before, this is the standard where all your apps are here, and you can tell it just takes up the whole screen. You can't really see anything else, and it reminds me of how Chromebooks used to be before we got an update several years back that kept it in the top left corner. But the app drawer, which again is mirroring Windows 11, and while I not be a Windows 11 user, I do appreciate the layout. Here, the icons feels more modern, feels more polished, and you can even adjust how many icons, how many rows of icons that they have. But this already looks so much better than what you get by default on Android 16. As you can see, you could put several shortcuts and apps on the home screen. Some of these are web apps, some of these are Android apps. You can see that it also has the calendar. Again, all this looks a lot better. And by the way, this volume control, while I appreciate the look of it, it absolutely does nothing. I don't know if that's just a setting, but for a while it's just an aesthetic. But already this does look much more what I would find on a computer. In fact, if somebody were to walk in and look at my shoulder, you'd be hard pressed to not know that this was in fact a phone. Even when I go up here to the this PC icon, and this is how it treats the file system. It was very familiar and very intuitive, and it's distinct enough to let you know that you're not just in a phone. It's pretty simple. It's not something groundbreaking, but it's something that has had a lot of thought. And again, you can move this around, and just like I said, desktop environment, you go to this one and that launcher is not there, but to get right back to it, you can just move between virtual desktops as needed. So you have a couple programs running and just jump back and forth. Doesn't mean you don't have split view, which you absolutely do, but it's a better way to just control your environment to work how you want it to. Now, at the bottom, you can open up Chrome, and this will be the same sessions you have on mobile, unlike the Chrome that's come by default in the launcher. Now, just to know how to separate these apps, the apps that's at the very bottom that have the material you design, that is what is going to be kind of universal between both environments. Now, again, because we're in Android 16 and I've enabled this, we have a terminal. And that's right, a terminal. And in another video, I might go into the Linux applications that you can utilize with this terminal. But every time I open this, it's just happy at this point for me just to update the repositories and all the software I'll put on this thing. So just sudo apt update, and let me just see what do I have to store. Okay, all packages seem to be already updated, and I'll just close this out. There's also games. I will probably do that in another video, but games do run on this mode. You have the Play Store here, you have Spotify here, and even these 3 desktop apps. So I wanted to show a game running on the Pixel 10 in external display. Had it running before, but while launching it and trying to do some other things, it crashed on me and put both my monitors down with it. Just to be honest, I think we're just seeing perhaps the limitations of the processor, or maybe just things are not optimized for it. Now, I was able to get a good gaming session out of this. Now, I'm playing Destiny Rising, and all it took was the launch of the app and a wired connection between my controller and the USB hub that I have connected into my Pixel 10. At this point, I should mention that the processor seems to be heating up quite a bit, just maybe just pushing it to its limit here. Never mind, the controls were responsive, although I couldn't get sound quite working. So that's something I will look into later. So what do I think about Android's desktop mode so far? I think it has promise. I think it still has a lot of work to do, particularly how the interface, the UI interface, but as far as functionality, I think that it is off to a good start. There were a few moments while testing this that I forgot that I was using the phone. And ultimately, that's all we want. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this sort of content, please consider liking and sharing and subscribing. I would appreciate it very much. Thank you and take care.